Tree Country 1330 WTRE. It's 7:31. Good morning, Mayor Marsh.
Good morning, Emily. Happy Thursday, everyone. Back around again.
That's right.
Comes
Here we
quick.
are. It does. A week goes by.
It does. You never know what's going to happen in a week, and seems like we're always right back here on Thursday mornings.
That's right. And learning all kinds of stuff.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see today what we're going to learn.
See what comes up today.
This is like the quieter week of the month.
Yeah.
As far as meetings.
Yeah, so we're right at the end, and right at the end of the month, and then it's hard to believe that we're already into October, and next week starts our Super Tuesday, and then of course the 14th is our regular scheduled meeting. So that's as late as they get, and we're off and running.
That's right. It's just been a busy week. All kinds of stuff going on throughout the city. Let's first, we had talked about the officer that used to be here in Greensburg, injured in Evansville. So let's, we have a little update on that.
Yeah, so we were talking about Sam Taylor, who had served with us in 2023, 2024, and he was shot in a pursuit for a stolen vehicle in Evansville. Has been in very intensive care, but over the last week has made some really good progress, which is great. Chief McNeely and a lot of our team went down to support Sam and Sam's wife, Sierra, and then his brother, Josh Taylor, is a police officer with us currently, and Josh was able to come back to work this week because Sam has actually been transferred to Atlanta, Georgia, to like a really top-end like rehabilitation facility. So the bullet did hit his spine, so there is still a lot of concern and likelihood of some type of paralysis, and it's a really, really unfortunate situation. But the good news is that he is responding and responsive, and they were able to talk to him last week, and so. Overall, good news, still an incredible road to whatever the new normal is. Recovery is very subjective, I guess you could say, and that we'll see what that is. And obviously we continue to wish him the best and support him, not only as a part of our team, but his brother's also a part of our team. So, yeah, positive news, long way to go.
It's a long way to go, but glad to hear some minor improvements happening.
Yes.
Speaking of the police department, the K9 golf outing will also be this weekend.
It is this weekend. It's Saturday. Last I had heard there were 18 or 19 teams signed up, so that's a full field, which is great. We continue to appreciate the support that everybody gives in playing and in sponsoring and support. Of course, that's down at Wailusi this year. If you are in need of to get out and play golf, I'm sure they would still love to have you get a 4-person team together. It's $200, and of course it supports our K9 officers. K9 Cato and Officer Mays, and then K9 Bradley and Officer Polly are our current K9 handlers. But it's a great part of the division, great part of the team, and I think it starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday down at Wailusi.
All right, Saturday's a busy day. The train's also coming to town.
It is. The Cincinnati Rail, or the Ohio Rail Experience is coming. That will scheduled to arrive about noon in downtown, and then they will be here for about 3 hours, as we've talked about before. This is technically the third time since 2020 that they have come to visit us, which is fantastic. They were supposed to come earlier this year, and it got canceled because of the heat, but they have, I think, a sold-out crowd of 300, and we sent them a lot of materials back in June, so we were able to provide them like the visitors guides and a downtown map and some stuff. So hopefully they've got a route figured out. They're going to be here for about 3 hours, and it's always a lot of fun to welcome that very large group of folks into downtown for a couple reasons. One, it's great exposure for our community, but it's also a very dense and consolidated time and area. So they can't leave downtown. And so to say they're captives, a little bit of an overstatement, but they have to spend it in our downtown. And that's a great number of folks to drop into our community after, the fall festival. And I think maybe like right after you and I spoke, they actually released the numbers last week. So
yes,
like 8,000 on Friday for the fall festival, 12,000 on Saturday. So,
record setting.
Record numbers. You could most definitely see that on Saturday, but then, we turn around and we do this again where 300 folks are dropped off downtown. They, lunch items, books, dog-eared pages, and, painting the town, and, of course, all the restaurants and everything that's really making downtown special is going on this Saturday. We also are going to... this is news to me as of, I think, yesterday or day before. We're also going to be hosting the new Consul General for Indonesia from Chicago. Maya is going to be doing that on Saturday, too. He's in India and doing a little bit of a tour. So he's stopping in and seeing her. And we're going to try to make it up there for a few minutes and say hello as well. But that's at noon as well. So there's a lot going on.
It's a busy Saturday.
It is. And everybody's welcome in downtown. Come out. You could check out the train. I'm assuming that they will let you get on it and look around. It's pretty cool. They've got all kinds of different passenger cars. You don't see passenger cars anymore. And in the past, they've let folks walk through it. And I don't know if they let, maybe like kids into the engine or whatever, but I'm sure if you just asked them, they'd give you an answer. They're great people. The guy who owns it and runs it, Ray, is a phenomenal guy and really energetic about it. He never comes on the train, which I think is kind of fascinating. He runs the lead car, so he runs ahead of the train and
really
takes photos and checks on things, and then he gets here about 20-30 minutes before the train gets here, and we always chat with him and make sure they get it put exactly where they want it and where we want it. And
will there be any disturbance to traffic flow on Saturday?
There will be. So East Street, Franklin Street, and Broadway. It will fit between 421 State Highway. Obviously, we want to be sure that that's left open, and Montfort. So it will be parked there, I think, almost the entire time. One time they had to go turn it around, which seems like a weird thing to do, right? They had to take it and put it on the siding, and then they pull the engines back up kind of behind soy processors, the split that goes out to Honda, all of that. So they go and mess with it. But then I think the other time they just put one of their engines on the back, and so they just pulled it the other way. So we'll see if they actually have to move it and turn it around or not. But it's there generally for the 3 hours. So just be aware. We are going to put up some road closure signs, but 421 and Montfort are your main north-south access points anyway.
All right. Very good. That'll be exciting. I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they were from out of town, out from Chicago. And they said, we're going to lunch. Where will we go? And so I was with someone else from the community, and we start naming off places. And you realize, honestly, how many places we have to choose from. And they're like, well, what would be your favorite? And I'm like, it depends on your mood and what you want. I mean, it's a hard choice. So
I always think, I love that exercise because I have a lot of folks that come for lunch and want the same kind of thing. And I'm like, well, do you want Indonesian, Chinese, Japanese? Do you want sushi? Do you want barbecue? Do you want American? You want pizzas? So there's a lot, and it's always kind of fun when you actually start. And I think everybody's like that, right? Every town you go to, whoever lives there says, I don't know, we don't have a lot of options. But then when you start burning through them, we really do. And I've had that interaction with folks that live in other communities too, that are like, well, I don't know, there's like this, and then the list keeps going and going and going. And I'm like, well, that's a lot. And they're like, yeah, I don't know, I never really think about it. So I think that's a very common reaction and interaction. But, and I've talked about it here before, and you and I and a lot of listeners are very well aware of it, but we take our downtown for granted.
We do.
And how robust and active and nice and busy and bustling it is, because I was somewhere about a week and a half ago, and in their downtown, and I give them credit. They're doing, a full kind of remodel. Now, they were doing all four sides of the square at one time.
At once.
I thought that's bold.
Was it all shut down, or they just alternate what they do?
It was a little bit of both. I've only ever been to this community one time, but it was very complicated. But it was all open. We had lunch downtown. We had meetings downtown, lunch downtown, and it's not nearly as, the buildings weren't as in great a shape. There weren't as many restaurant options. There's not as many store options. Their stores were kind of full in the sense that they were occupied, but it was just different than ours. And that's okay. Everybody's unique and got their thing. but again, an investment happening in their downtown. And, I was sitting there and thinking like, we got it pretty good if you kind of sit here and look at what options and what we have in comparing. And of course, there are places that maybe are outpacing us, but I'll take us every day.
That's any day. They've been kind of some final touches on stuff downtown, like some landscaping I saw the other day, and just
there were some things that we kind of added last minute that we knew weren't going to get done. So like we went ahead and included the crosswalks, between on the west side that were crumbling as well in those islands. So obviously you can't run the paver into the island space, so those had to be kind of taken out. They were put in originally as asphalt, and so we're taking those out and putting them in as concrete because part of the problem was they kind of held water. So we're trying to get those ramps. We've realigned the ramps with the new surface to get them out from holding water, so that when it rains you don't have to step in it or stand in it. And then some landscape work, some signage. We're waiting on the core drilling machine that puts in the bases for the stop signs. I didn't realize that would take so long. But the EV, the electric vehicle chargers, that's a Duke Energy project, and they've got about another week to get those turned on so that people can pay with their credit cards. So those aren't quite active yet or activated yet, but we did put 2 of those in. EV charging downtown's been high on the list. It's just been where does it go and where do you put it? So that's been a great addition. We finally had access to power that we could use to support it. And there's 2, and there's subterranean infrastructure in place to put in another 2. We just didn't put them in. We'll see what usage looks like first, but we went ahead and prepared for up to 4. And they're level 2 chargers, which are sort of the mediums. Level 1s require a super high amount of power, and they're very expensive. So this was a much more affordable option. Gives people the opportunity to plug in, go have lunch, gain some miles, etc. So those are almost activated, and the manufacturer sent us the wrong streetlight poles for the west half of the project. So those have been reordered and are on their typical very delayed delivery timeline. Usually takes us about 12 weeks to get a light pole, which seems mind-boggling to me. But when somebody runs over one, it takes about 3 to 4 months to get one in, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
That's what it does.
We have no control over those things.
We don't.
It just does not happen.
But so there's a few items left downtown, but really it was, I'll call it done for the fall festival, and that
most definitely.
We met all of the requirements that we needed for that. We do have some striping left to do on North Broadway, and there's a lot of pavement that's been milled off. Baruchel is closed. I think that's supposed to reopen by tomorrow morning. I think out sort of by the trail by Tree City Brew. Baruchel is still open up into that hard closure, so you can definitely access everything out there. But there's some paving work that has to happen on Commerce Drive yet. There's a lot of paving still going on kind of throughout the city, which is great.
They're approaching their October deadline, right?
Yes. But one project that hasn't even started yet this year that is still on the books is the resurfacing of Freeland Road, which is the one that runs to Walmart.
Yes. So
it's the incredibly busy one that's, between Dairy Queen, Starbucks, Walmart, all the way back to the B&B. And we were waiting on the milling machine. Who knew the milling
machine again?
The milling machine that...
It just keeps striking.
If they weren't so expensive, should have bought one. But the milling machine
with the operator, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the operations is the hard part. But that project will still get underway yet this fall. That's the schedule. That's the intention. And we'll get a new surface put. That's just surface, so it will just be done under traffic. And there's a little bit of some drainage replacement structures, but it's pretty minimal. And that one won't be as impactful, but it's just so busy through there. But yet, that's still on our agenda this fall. With how warm it still is and how warm it still looks like it's going to be, it looks like we're going to be able to push past the 15th. So I think they're hoping to get that done maybe by November 1st.
Well, and it looks like we're going to have, per Randy Allis, it's going to stay toasty for a few weeks. So
Yeah, and I mean that's the whole thing is you just when you're scheduling out, in June or May or January, you don't know. So they're going to get some bonus weeks here, and we'll get our projects wrapped up.
Get it all good. You guys have another community engagement evening coming up at the Greensburg football game.
We do. So that would be Friday the 17th, which is our last community night out. We're not actually... We wanted to do something with the schools. If you harken back to the very beginning of the year, we did the mock crash for prom, which we had not done in a long time. And we wanted to do another event that was school-oriented in the fall. And so we were talking with the Greensburg Community Schools about how to partner and do that. We don't want to get in the way of selling concessions or we don't want to prohibit concession sales. So we're actually... our first responder teams are just going to be the concessionaires.
I love that.
Yeah, so you'll be able to find them in the concession stands, out and about, supporting.
Are you going to be serving up popcorn?
I imagine I will be out there doing something. So, yeah, probably could.
I could see you as the popcorn guy.
Yeah, I could probably pull that off.
Yeah, it's easy. A couple steps.
Yeah, just watch
no
a
cooking involved.
Training video, right?
That's right.
Exactly. But yes, we're going to be doing concessions with them. That's our last big community engagement event of this community cookout series. And then also that same night at the same football game, we are actually doing our next open house type informational gathering survey work for the Future 3, which is the State Road 3. I talked about this last week a little bit. I'm going to bring it up a couple more times because we have something on November 4th. But first, we're going to be at the football game. Our Lockmuller group, who's the consultants that are working with all of the counties, Henry, Rush, and Decatur County, is doing a engagement session for public input at the football game. So if you're going to be out at the Greensburg, I think it's Rushville, which is why they're... right, because we're knocking out Rush County and Decatur County at the same time.
Good intention, right?
That's right, and so you can come out. So we're double dipping, which is great for us folks that have a lot of evening commitments. When we can knock out 2 commitments at the exact same time and exact same event. So looking forward to that. Plus, it'll be a great opportunity to support the Greensburg Pirates and see what that brings.
It'll be very good. The Greensburg Fire Department will be having their annual chili cook-off coming up.
That's not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, no.
But next week.
Yes.
So Friday the 10th is going to be the annual chili supper, which is at GFD Station 1 there on Baruchel. Of course, this will be our second one there, but if you haven't been through the station yet, I'm sure they would love to give you a tour and show you around. You bring the kids, check out the apparatus. Do all the fun stuff that the firehouse has, and it's also one of those things. If it's an annual tradition, it's great. If you haven't been before, it's great, and it's free will offering, which is great. You just put some money in the boot, and they serve you up chili and chat with your neighbors, and it's always a great event. It's a lot of fun. They do a really nice job with it. They don't over-spice it, that's for sure.
And that, again, will be next Friday.
Next Friday, the 10th. Oh, it starts at 4. Actually, I was just looking at the graphic we posted. Uh-huh. If anybody's listening that works on our graphic, it says 2024.
Oh.
But it's actually October 10th, 2025. And that would be a week from Friday. Starts at 4:30. And I think it usually runs till about 6:30, 7 o'clock. So come on out. Come out after work. Again, we were talking about how warm it is, in that it is not necessarily chilly mindset yet, but we've also had chili when it's been freezing cold out.
That's right. So it's chilly season, though. I feel like October hits, it's soup season is what I call it.
Yeah.
Soup season is here.
Well, people would argue with you whether chili is soup or not.
That is true.
Pumpkin spice has arrived, and therefore chili is in season.
It's right here.
That's right.
Halloween is not far off. Everyone's planning. There's a lot of Halloween activities throughout the community, but you've got actual Halloween hours set.
We do. So that is going to be on Halloween, which is Friday the 31st. So talk about a great year for...
It's perfect.
When folks say, hey, Halloween is on a Tuesday, how much fun is that? So here it is. Halloween's on Friday. 5 to 8, and that's the citywide hours. So it should be, hopefully we'll have great weather. Again, we've had snow, and we've had it be 80, so we'll see everybody out and about for the actual Halloween hours. But the weekend before, on the 25th, this is sort of new this year because Trunk or Treat, the big one that's out at the elementary school, is not happening this year. The organizations that put that together are not doing it again. They've run their course. They opted not to. Fine. So actually, the Decatur County Parks Department is stepping up.
Yes, we had Chris on yesterday.
Fantastic. So I'm sure it's online. You can go
watch it. But yes, this is a new event.
And I think it's so he's from he was in the park system in Columbus, and when we were talking about it, he was like, well, Columbus did this really cool event where everybody just came to the park, and we set up like a walking trunk or treat through the park. Well, that's a cool concept. So him and the parks team have been working really hard on it. So it's going to be the 25th, 2 to 4 in the afternoon, so it's a great Saturday afternoon project out at the main city park on the west side of town. It's a free event. Everybody's going to set up their table, so we'll be out there and supporting them in that instead of doing trunk or treat. And I think our teams are going to be there as well. So should be a really good opportunity on the 25th. Get the costumes out, try them on, get all dressed up.
That's right.
Then get ready for actual Halloween.
There's a costume contest that day as well, I think at 3:45. So
lots going on.
So Natalie Aker and I were having the discussion yesterday because Chris being newer to the area, and it is a county park, but we call it the city park.
Right.
So we were having this discussion yesterday on the air, but Chris is like, I said, it's fine. We all call it the city park. It's just what it is.
That's right.
So we're all excited for that. Is Truman going to come out for that? Is he trick-or-treating that day?
I don't know. That's a great question. Maybe. He usually did make an appearance at Trunk or Treat, but it was kind of easy. You could just put him in the car because the car was right there. So We'll see. Maybe. Probably not getting an outfit, though, or costume. Probably not. He just shreds him. He's a little tough on things.
On wear and tear.
Yeah.
We talked about construction throughout the city last week, but it continues. I'm just amazed as I watch like Zaxby's popping up in the new Dollar General, and there's some construction on a Veterans Way taking place. So I guess just across the city, we're seeing rapid building happening.
There's a lot of 2x4s moving around. I made the comment the other day that if you ever wondered how they built a house in 7 days on HGTV, I guess we're learning how you build a Dollar General in 14.
That's right.
Because that thing is moving.
It is. I went by yesterday, and it had been a couple days, and I was like, wow, we've made some progress.
And the first floor of the Fairfield Inn is up. Walls are up on that.
And that's out on Veterans
That's
Parkway.
the Veterans Way there at the roundabout at the Memorial Circle. Walls are up. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Zaxby's doesn't have a roof structure pretty soon because they had walls Monday.
Yeah.
So I haven't been by there. I went by there this morning, but I didn't even look. I was looking left at traffic, which you should be doing, and not rubbernecking and gawking. But anyway, I don't know. I didn't look at the roof structure, but I'm sure it's got to be getting close.
It's been they've just been speedy. I'm impressed by all construction happening.
Their team told us again the other day they recommitted as much as that's worth by the end of the year. So you can have Christmas chicken. That's
right. It's coming. Absolutely. Any other new stuff going on around the city?
I think, we've hit all the upcoming events. We're starting to head in towards, slow down season, although it doesn't really appear that way. But, there's the projects are coming to an end. There's some more paving work going on, but I don't think there's anything else at the moment.
No, everyone's already getting geared up for Christmas downtown. I've had so many conversations in the last week, and that'll be the next big thing.
Holiday walks the first Saturday of December. Veterans Day is coming up, and that's when downtown gets decorated. So if you would like to help put up lights, it does take quite a force for lights, and we've partnered with Main Street, although to purchase new lights for the light poles downtown. So we ordered those actually 2 years ago. And they arrived, but they didn't really arrive with enough time to figure out how to install them. So the teams have been working on figuring out how to install them. And I guess the instructions are very complicated. Oh. So REMC always helps with that. So we're all working together to figure out the new lights. and the downtown, the fire department always helps with put up the Christmas tree. All of that will be appearing around Veterans Day, which is just around the corner. And I guess on that topic, as a quick reminder, the 13th, Monday the 13th, is Columbus Day. That's one of those kind of really weird government holidays that most people don't recall. And so trash and recycling service will all be pushed back a day, just so everyone's aware that that's coming on the 13th.
The 13th, all right. Kathy Versman announced the theme of the parade for Christmas, and it will be snowmen this year.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we'll be curious to see. I mean, we've got some competitive entries historically out there.
Our, our street department is a 2-year reigning champion for People's Choice. And this actually got brought up in our staff meeting the other day, and there were some fighting words amongst our department heads. All HR appropriate, of course, but
just a little friendly competition.
So I think they've already began to think and consider and look at, and that's great. That I love to see our teams, our wastewater teams have been in it in the past. Water team, street team, have all put in floats and entries, and last year we had some really good ones, so we'll see.
I think it's fun for us we get to just thoroughly enjoy the parade. We are announcing as it happens, but it's a nice opportunity for us to be able to sit and just, most times we're in the parades. I don't think people get that, so we don't get to
we don't watch a parade.
We don't get to watch a parade, and this is the fun one to watch because they all have something different. So,
and I think it's, and WTRE kind of helps run the parade too, but it's growing.
It is. There's new
space being acquired.
New space and lineup happening.
I think they're coming to the Board of Works either this month or next to get some more street closure lineup space available, which is great.
They've used the church parking lot for several years, but as floats have grown and entries have grown, they've just outgrown that. So, yeah, we're excited for that.
That's right.
Coming up. Next week, you and I will not physically be here.
That's right. So we're going to try, I'll let you say, we're going to try to do something different and fun.
We are. So we're going to be on the Honduras trip with the St. Mary's Church. Pending technology, I think is the best way to phrase it, we're hoping to bring you some Honduras next week during this time slot.
I think we're going to try to, so we've been talking about St. Mary's is working on this, building a village in Cucamonga. I was there about 18 months, 2 years ago. I need to look at the dates. So we're going back. That's next week. You're going to go this year. Dr. Mary McCullough went last year as sort of a representative of the healthcare space. Dave and Linda, Dr. Weigel and his wife Linda go. And there's lots of folks that go. And so you're going this year and as part of the healthcare network and DCMH and you personally. And so anyway, we're going to try to do a Honduras-based show.
We are.
With some folks from there about what it is we're working on. I believe by Thursday morning we should have done the village, they call it inauguration, but it's sort of like a christening, ribbon cutting, opening, dedication. So we hopefully will have that, and we're going to try to maybe grab some guest interviews as we go. I'm really optimistic. I'm hopeful that we get a chance to meet with the mayor of Cucamonga again because he's a really great guy. I've talked about him before, a younger guy, really passionate about his community. And Honduras is a great country. The people are incredibly friendly, but they need a lot of help. It's very poverty heavy, and obviously that's why mission trips exist and the good work that St. Mary's has done. And Tom Rickey's just been spearheading it, and all of the folks at St. Mary's that have really helped put all this together. It's going to come to fruition next week. So yeah.
We're excited. So, barring any technology issues, we should be good. But
it'll be like a 7:30 Greensburg, 5:30 a.m. Honduras time show thing.
That's
so we'll
right.
see.
We'll do. We're going to do our best, though. It's an important thing. The community has been behind that and part of raising that money, and along with the church, so we're going to do our best to be able to bring you a piece of that back.
We always say at the Live at 5, right? You can listen here on the radio or worldwide on YouTube. So we're just taking our show international.
That's right. We're hitting the road.
That's right.
It's happening. All right. Well, it's 8:00. Anything else you can think of before we wrap up?
I don't think so. Everyone have a great, safe week. We're going to try to talk to you from down south next week. And if not, we will see you back here on the 16th.
All right. Sounds good. Tree Country 1330 WTRE.